From a crew that filmed for 100 days straight through historic floods to a star who built the world's only Alaska-shaped guitar, Homestead Rescue harbors secrets that would shock even its most devoted fans. Behind the rugged homesteading expertise lies a controversial musical past, international production crews, and filming mishaps that never made it to air. Here are the 15 weird facts you didn't know about Homestead Rescue. Fact 1. International director duo. When you think about reality TV production, you probably imagine crews rolling up to locations with cameras and equipment, ready to start filming immediately. But Homestead Rescue operates with a level of international coordination that would surprise most viewers, beginning their process weeks before the Rainey family ever sets foot on a property. The very first people to arrive at any filming location are actually a director and site manager who make the journey all the way from London, England. These advanced scouts fly across the Atlantic Ocean specifically to scope out each homestead and meet with local community members 5 full weeks before the main production team arrives. This international element reveals just how globally coordinated the show's production really is, with Raw TV, the British production company behind the series, maintaining hands-on involvement in every aspect of filming. During these initial visits, the London-based team conducts thorough reconnaissance of the homestead property and surrounding area. They're not just checking camera angles or lighting conditions, but actually getting to know the local community and understanding the unique challenges each location presents. This advance work proves crucial when dealing with remote locations that might have limited access roads, unpredictable weather patterns, or other logistical complications that could derail filming. The 5-week gap between the advance team's arrival and the main crew's deployment allows for extensive planning and preparation. During this time, the international team coordinates with local contractors, secures necessary permits, and establishes relationships with nearby businesses that might be needed during production. They also arrange for the massive logistical undertaking of bringing 20 crew members to often remote and challenging locations. This international production approach explains why the show can tackle such ambitious projects in far-flung locations across America. While viewers see the Raineys arriving and immediately getting to work, the reality involves weeks of careful planning orchestrated by a team that literally travels thousands of miles just to ensure everything runs smoothly when cameras start rolling. Fact 2. 100-day filming marathon. Most television shows film for a few weeks or maybe a couple of months, but Homestead Rescue pushed the boundaries of reality TV production by filming for an absolutely grueling 100 days straight. This marathon filming schedule started in February and created what Marty Rainey himself described as an unheard-of production timeline that challenged everyone involved. The very first day of this epic filming adventure couldn't have started under more dramatic circumstances, as a massive 36-inch snowstorm hit the East Coast exactly when cameras began rolling. Marty Rainey later recalled this opening day as a baptism by snow, describing how the crew found themselves immediately thrown into the harsh conditions that would define their entire filming experience. This wasn't just a light dusting that delayed production for a few hours, but a genuine 100-year storm that covered the region in 3 feet of snow. The relentless filming schedule meant the Rainey family and production crew worked from daylight to dark building structures and helping homesteaders, with Marty explaining that the show's authenticity comes from the fact that they're genuinely out there constructing real solutions to real problems. The physical demands proved exhausting for everyone involved, as they faced constant exposure to extreme weather conditions, wind, cold, and the natural elements without the luxury of controlled studio environments. What made this filming marathon even more remarkable was the compressed post-production timeline that followed. The show wrapped filming in May and managed to get episodes on the air by mid-June, creating what industry professionals considered an almost impossible schedule for editing and production. This meant editors were working with days' worth of raw footage that had to be condensed down to 40-minute episodes while maintaining the authentic storytelling that makes the show compelling. The 100-day filming commitment also took a serious toll on the Rainey family personally, requiring them to spend over 3 months away from their normal homestead life in Alaska while traveling to various locations across the country, helping struggling families. Fact 3. Alaska. Shaped guitar creation. Beyond his skills as a survival expert and homestead builder, Marty Rainey harbors a unique passion for music that led him to create what stands as the only guitar in the world shaped like the state of Alaska. This isn't just a novelty instrument sitting on a shelf somewhere, but a fully functional guitar that Marty actually designed, crafted, and plays during his mountain climbing adventures. The creation of this one-of-a-kind instrument reflects Marty's deep connection to his adopted home state, where he's lived since moving there at age 18 in 1974. As both a skilled craftsman and musician, Marty combined his woodworking abilities with his love for Alaska to produce something that had never existed before. The guitar's body follows the distinctive outline of Alaska's coastline and borders, complete with the state's unique panhandle and island chains. What makes this guitar even more unusual is Marty's tongue-in-cheek rule that only songs about Alaska can be played on it. This playful restriction shows his sense of humor about his obsession with the last frontier, though it also speaks to his genuine reverence for the state that shaped his entire adult life. The instrument has actually accompanied Marty on some of his most ambitious mountain climbing expeditions, including trips up Denali, North America's highest peak. This Alaska-shaped guitar represents just one example of how Marty's various passions intersect in unexpected ways. His skills as a mountain climber, musician, and craftsman all came together in this unique creation that exists nowhere else in the world. The guitar has been featured in photographs and appears on his website, where Marty proudly displays this intersection of his artistic abilities and his love for Alaska. The instrument also connects to Marty's broader musical career, as he's released albums and performed throughout Alaska, often incorporating his climbing adventures into his songwriting and bringing his guitar to remote locations where few musicians have ever played. Fact 4. Historic flood destroys base camp. Sometimes Mother Nature has her own plans for television production, and during filming in Ozark County, Missouri, a historic flood completely wiped out the Homestead Rescue crew's base camp, leaving no trace for viewers to see in the final episode. This dramatic incident occurred on April 29th and 30th, during what local residents described as one of the most significant flooding events the area had experienced in decades. The Rainey family had strategically set up their base camp down by a creek on the homesteaders' property, choosing this location for its convenience and access to water. The camp served as their operational headquarters during the 10-day filming period, housing equipment, and providing a central staging area for the various construction projects they were undertaking to help the struggling homesteaders, Wren and Eney. When the historic flood hit, the rushing water completely destroyed everything the crew had established at the creekside location. The devastation was so complete that not a single piece of the base camp remained, forcing the production team to completely rework their setup and operations for the remainder of filming. The flood also created additional challenges for the homesteaders themselves, who found themselves temporarily landlocked on their own property due to the rising waters. This natural disaster actually prevented the Rainey family from completing their final day of filming as originally planned, since the dangerous flood conditions made it impossible for them to safely continue their work. The production crew had to step in and finish some of the remaining projects that the Raineys couldn't complete due to the weather emergency. Viewers watching the Ozark County episode have no idea that this dramatic flooding event occurred during filming, since the destroyed base camp simply never appears on screen. The editing team worked around the missing footage and altered plans, creating a seamless final product that gives no hint of the natural disaster that disrupted production and completely eliminated one of their primary filming locations. Fact 5. Dedicated camera cleaner Job. In the world of television production, crew members typically wear multiple hats and handle various responsibilities throughout filming. But Homestead Rescue takes equipment maintenance so seriously that they employ one person whose entire job consists of keeping cameras clean. Among the 20-person crew that descends on each homestead location, this dedicated camera cleaner serves as the unsung hero, ensuring that viewers get crystal-clear footage despite the challenging conditions. This specialized position exists because Homestead Rescue filming environments create some of the harshest conditions imaginable for delicate camera equipment. The crew works in remote locations where dust, dirt, sawdust from construction projects, smoke from fires, rain, snow, and general outdoor debris constantly threaten to compromise the expensive filming equipment. Unlike studio productions where cameras operate in controlled environments, Homestead Rescue cameras face constant exposure to the elements during outdoor construction and survival activities. The camera cleaner's responsibilities go far beyond simply wiping down lenses between takes. This crew member must constantly monitor multiple cameras throughout each filming day, checking for dust accumulation, moisture damage, lens scratches, and any other issues that could affect image quality. They also maintain backup equipment and ensure that cameras remain functional, despite being used in conditions that would normally require protective housing or special weatherproofing. Former participants in the show have specifically mentioned this camera cleaner position when describing the behind-the-scenes crew, noting how surprised they were to discover that someone's entire job focused solely on this one crucial task. The fact that Discovery Channel and Raw TV production company dedicate a full crew position to camera maintenance demonstrates just how challenging the filming conditions really are and how seriously they take maintaining professional broadcast quality standards. This specialized role also highlights the level of technical precision required to capture the authentic homesteading experiences that make the show compelling, ensuring that no crucial moments are lost due to equipment failures or dirty lenses during the demanding outdoor filming process. Fact 6. First meeting always on camera. While many reality shows stage multiple takes of arrivals and first meetings, Homestead Rescue maintains an unusual level of authenticity by ensuring that the Rainey family genuinely encounters homesteaders and their properties for the very first time when cameras start rolling. This means that Marty, Misty, and Matt Rainey arrive at each location with absolutely no prior knowledge of what they'll find or what challenges await them. The production process deliberately keeps the Raineys in the dark about specific property conditions and homesteader situations until the moment they drive up and step out of their truck. While the advance crew has already spent weeks scouting locations and preparing logistics, the actual stars of the show remain completely uninformed about the details they're about to encounter. This approach creates genuine reactions and authentic problem-solving moments that viewers see on screen. Former participants have confirmed this unusual production method, explaining how the homesteaders themselves are instructed to stay hidden in their dwellings while the Raineys arrive and set up their own base camp. The family spends the morning on the property getting oriented and doing preliminary filming without meeting the people they're there to help. Only when cameras are positioned and rolling do the homesteaders emerge to meet the Rainey family for what truly is their first face-to-face encounter. This filming technique means that the surprise, confusion, or concern that viewers sometimes see on the Raineys' faces when they first assess a property represents their genuine reactions to discovering the extent of problems they need to solve. The family has to think on their feet and develop solutions in real time, rather than arriving with pre-planned strategies based on advanced knowledge of the situation. The authenticity of these first meetings also explains why the Raineys sometimes seem to change their approach or priorities partway through an episode, as they discover new information about the homestead's challenges that wasn't apparent during their initial assessment of the property and the homesteader's needs. Fact 7. Controversial song scandal. A controversial musical scandal from Marty Rainey's past created significant problems for Discovery Channel when his 1990s song with offensive content resurfaced decades after its original release. The song, titled Adam and Steve, appeared as the final track on Marty's 1997 album called Strum It from the Summit, which had been quietly available on major streaming platforms including Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music for years. The controversy erupted in 2020 when media outlets brought attention to the song's content, which contained language that was widely considered homophobic and offensive to the LGBTQ community. The timing proved particularly problematic since Marty had become the face of Homestead Rescue, representing Discovery Channel's brand values to millions of viewers who knew him as a helpful survival expert and family man. Discovery Channel quickly moved to distance itself from the controversial material, with a network spokesperson stating that the song, which was written over 20 years ago, did not reflect the show or the values of the network in any way. The network's response demonstrated how seriously they took the situation, especially given that Marty had been the star of Homestead Rescue for 5 seasons at that point. The album was swiftly removed from all major music streaming services after media outlets contacted Discovery, Marty, and the show's producers for comment about the content. This removal effectively eliminated public access to the controversial material, though the damage to Marty's reputation had already begun spreading through social media and entertainment news coverage. The scandal emerged during a broader conversation about workplace culture at Raw TV, the production company behind Homestead Rescue and other Discovery shows. Sources had brought the song to media attention while discussing concerns about the working environment on various Discovery productions, making the timing particularly sensitive for both the network and the production company involved in creating the show. Fact 8. Lawsuit over fake portrayal. One of the most serious legal challenges Homestead Rescue faced came from successful homesteaders Kim and Josh Zabek, who filed a lawsuit claiming the show completely misrepresented their expertise and painted them as incompetent farmers when they were actually well-established professionals. The couple, who owned and operated Revolutionary Roots Farm in Virginia, appeared in episode 2 of the first season during 2016 and 2017. According to the Zabex account, the show's producers initially approached them specifically because they were successful homesteaders who could showcase effective off-grid living techniques. The production team allegedly told Kim and Josh that they would be featured as established experts who had mastered the challenges of homestead life, which would have provided viewers with positive examples of thriving off-grid families. However, when the episode aired, the couple discovered that editing had transformed their story into something completely different. Instead of being portrayed as the successful farmers they actually were, the show presented them as struggling beginners who desperately needed the Rainey family's intervention to save their failing operation. The episode focused on problems with pigs that had supposedly ruined part of their property, making it appear that Kim and Josh had no idea how to manage their own farm. The Zabex felt so strongly that the show had misled them and damaged their reputation that they decided to pursue legal action against the production. They claimed that the editing process had deliberately removed footage showing their competence and success while emphasizing any minor setbacks or challenges to create a false narrative that fit the show's rescue format. Interestingly, despite their anger with the production company and Discovery Channel, Kim and Josh made it clear that they had nothing negative to say about Marty Rainey himself. Kim actually spoke positively about Marty's character and work ethic, separating the star's genuine helpfulness from what they saw as the production team's deceptive practices in creating their episode. Fact 9. Misty's dual-state living. While her father Marty and brother Matt commit to year-round life in the harsh Alaskan wilderness, Misty Rainey has created a unique lifestyle that allows her to enjoy the best of two completely different worlds by splitting her time between Alaska and Hawaii. This dual-state living arrangement means that Misty maintains homes in both locations, spending her summers working on the family homestead business in Alaska and escaping to tropical Hawaii during the brutal winter months. Misty's Alaskan home sits in Hatcher Pass, Alaska, keeping her close to the family land where she grew up learning essential survival and construction skills. During the summer months, she fully commits to the demanding work of helping struggling homesteaders across the country while also contributing to Alaska Stone and Log, the family construction business that has been operating for decades. However, when winter arrives and temperatures in Alaska plummet to life-threatening levels, Misty heads to her second home in Hawaii, where she enjoys a completely different lifestyle focused on surfing and ocean activities. Her husband, Messiah Bilodeau, shares her love for surfing, and the couple takes full advantage of Hawaii's world-class waves and tropical climate during their winter retreats from Alaska's harsh conditions. This seasonal migration pattern allows Misty to maintain her connection to the rugged homesteading lifestyle that defines her family, while also pursuing her passion for surfing and enjoying warmer weather that most people would consider far more comfortable than an Alaskan winter. The contrast between her two homes couldn't be more dramatic. Moving from a remote mountain pass in Alaska where survival skills are essential to Hawaiian beaches where the biggest concern might be which surf break to visit, Misty's ability to maintain this dual lifestyle demonstrates both her adaptability and the financial success that Homestead Rescue has brought to the Rainey family, allowing her to afford homes in two of America's most expensive and desirable locations while still contributing her construction expertise to the family business during Alaska's productive summer months. Fact 10. Canola oil chainsaw mix-up. A seemingly bizarre moment on Homestead Rescue that showed participants using canola oil in their chainsaw turned out to be based on a misunderstanding that revealed how far behind America lags in environmental protection compared to Europe. The incident occurred during the Ozark County episode featuring homesteaders Ren and Eni, where viewers saw what appeared to be the unusual practice of fueling a chainsaw with cooking oil. After the episode aired, Ren and Eni felt compelled to clarify what had actually happened, explaining that they weren't using canola oil as chainsaw fuel as the show suggested, but rather as an environmentally friendly alternative to petroleum-based bar and chain oil. This distinction might seem minor, but it represents two completely different uses for the oil, with very different implications for chainsaw operation and environmental impact. Bar and chain oil serves as a lubricant that keeps the chainsaw's cutting chain from overheating and wearing out prematurely as it moves around the guide bar at high speeds. Traditional bar and chain oil is petroleum-based, but canola oil provides an eco-friendly alternative that breaks down naturally in the environment instead of contaminating soil and water sources. The couple noted that while this practice might seem strange to American viewers, petroleum-based bar and chain oil has actually been banned throughout the European Union due to environmental concerns. European countries require biodegradable alternatives like canola oil, making Ren and Innie's choice both environmentally responsible and legally mandated in more progressive regions of the world. The editing or presentation of this moment apparently shocked the production crew, who weren't familiar with this environmentally conscious practice. Ren and Innie emphasized that this wasn't some desperate survival technique or lack of proper equipment, but rather a deliberate choice to use a cleaner alternative that protects the environment around their homestead. This misunderstanding highlighted how American audiences and even television crews might be unfamiliar with environmental practices that are considered standard and legally required in other parts of the world. Fact 11. Missouri Log Company Secret. One of the most impressive construction projects featured on Homestead Rescue involved building a stunning octagonal log cabin for Ozark County homesteaders Ren and Innie, but viewers never learned that this beautiful structure was actually constructed by a professional Missouri log home company, rather than being built entirely by the Rainey family. The company responsible for this impressive craftsmanship was Sticks and Stones, Real Log Homes, a Missouri-based business that specializes in custom log construction. The editing process completely removed any mention of this professional log company's involvement, creating the impression that the Rainey family had somehow managed to construct this complex octagonal structure entirely through their own efforts during the limited filming period. This omission significantly changed how viewers understood the scope and timeline of the construction project, making it appear far more remarkable than it already was. Ren and Innie later revealed this behind-the-scenes detail when discussing their experience on the show, explaining that while the Raineys certainly provided valuable help and expertise, the actual construction of their new log cabin involved professional contractors who brought specialized skills and equipment to the project. The homesteaders felt it was important to clarify this point, since the finished cabin was so impressive that it might have seemed impossible for a small crew to complete in just 10 days. The involvement of Sticks and Stones. Real Log Homes also explains how such a complex structure with precise joinery and professional quality craftsmanship could be completed within the show's tight filming schedule. Building an octagonal log cabin requires specialized knowledge of log construction techniques and precise measurements that would typically take much longer for a general construction crew to accomplish. This editing choice reflects the show's tendency to emphasize the Rainey family's expertise while downplaying the role of local contractors and professional services that often contribute to the successful completion of major projects featured in episodes, creating a more dramatic narrative about the family's capabilities. Services that often contribute to the successful completion of major projects featured in episodes, creating a more dramatic narrative about the family's capabilities. Fact 12. Scorpion Encounter Cut. Sometimes the most entertaining moments from reality TV filming end up on the cutting room floor, and Homestead Rescue lost what crew members described as a genuinely hilarious incident involving Marty Rainey and an unexpected scorpion encounter during a house leveling project. This amusing wildlife interaction was captured on camera but ultimately didn't make it into the final episode, despite everyone on set finding it extremely funny at the time. The incident occurred while Marty was working on adding support and leveling to a homestead structure, a task that requires crawling under buildings and working in tight spaces where various creatures might be hiding from the heat or seeking shelter. Desert and semi-arid regions where many homesteads are located provide perfect habitat for scorpions, making encounters with these small but intimidating creatures a genuine occupational hazard for anyone doing construction work. According to production crew members who witnessed the event, Marty's reaction to discovering the scorpion was apparently so genuine and entertaining that it had everyone laughing, creating one of those spontaneous moments that make reality television memorable. The fact that experienced crew members specifically remembered this incident and mentioned it when discussing behind-the-scenes moments suggests it was truly a standout comedic moment during filming. However, the editing process for each episode involves cutting down many hours of raw footage into approximately 41 minutes of finished programming, which means that even entertaining moments sometimes get sacrificed to maintain the episode's focus and pacing. The decision to cut the scorpion encounter reflects the difficult choices editors must make when creating a coherent narrative from extensive footage. This lost footage represents just one example of the many unplanned moments that occur during Homestead Rescue filming, but never reach viewers. The crew members' disappointment that such a funny incident didn't make the final cut demonstrates how much entertaining material gets left behind in the pursuit of creating focused, educational episodes about homesteading challenges and solutions. Fact 13. Family Denali Climbing Record. The Rainey family holds a remarkable mountaineering record that extends far beyond their homesteading expertise, as they stand as the only family of 6 to successfully climb Denali, North America's highest and most challenging peak at 20,320 feet above sea level. This extraordinary achievement demonstrates the family's commitment to extreme outdoor adventures and their exceptional physical conditioning that goes well beyond what viewers see on Homestead Rescue. Denali, located in Alaska and formerly known as Mount McKinley, represents one of the world's most demanding climbing challenges due to its extreme altitude, unpredictable weather conditions, and technical difficulty. The mountain's remote location in the Alaska Range means that climbers face not only the physical challenge of ascending over 20,000 feet, but also the logistical complexities of operating in one of the most isolated wilderness areas in North America. The fact that all 6 Rainey family members completed this ascent together makes their achievement even more remarkable, since coordinating a successful climb with multiple family members requires extraordinary planning, physical preparation, and teamwork. Each family member had to maintain the fitness level and technical skills necessary to handle the mountain's challenges, while also supporting other family members throughout the grueling expedition. Marty Rainey first climbed Denali in 1986, and later worked as an expedition guide on the mountain, giving him the expertise needed to lead his family safely to the summit. His experience included working as a guide for various climbing films and documentaries, making him intimately familiar with the mountain's dangers and the skills required for successful ascents. This family climbing record reflects the same spirit of adventure and physical toughness that viewers see in the Rainey family's approach to homesteading challenges. Their ability to work together as a team, under extreme conditions on Denali, translates directly to their effectiveness in helping struggling homesteaders tackle seemingly impossible construction and survival projects across the country. Fact 14. Shared production company connection. Behind the scenes, Homestead Rescue shares a significant production connection with one of Discovery Channel's biggest hits, as both shows are created by Raw TV, the British production company that also produces the long-running mining series Gold Rush. This shared production lineage means that many of the same executives, crew members, and production techniques flow between these popular Discovery programs. Raw TV, which operates as part of All3Media America, has built a reputation for creating rugged outdoor reality shows that follow people working in challenging environments, making the company a natural fit for Discovery's brand of adventure and survival programming. The production company's expertise in filming in remote locations and harsh conditions transfers seamlessly between the gold mining operations featured in Gold Rush and the homesteading challenges showcased in Homestead Rescue. However, this production connection became problematic when both shows faced scrutiny over workplace culture following a tragic incident involving production assistant Terrence Woods, who disappeared while filming for the Gold Rush franchise in 2018. Woods vanished without a trace during production in a remote area, and his disappearance raised serious questions about crew safety protocols and working conditions on Raw TV productions. The incident sparked broader conversations about the working environment at Raw TV, with sources describing what they characterized as an unwelcoming atmosphere during filming, where cast and crew members bristled at progressive social values. These concerns about workplace culture extended beyond just the Gold Rush franchise to include other Raw TV productions, including Homestead Rescue. The connection between these shows through Raw TV became particularly relevant when controversies emerged around Homestead Rescue cast members, as media outlets began examining the production company's overall approach to creating content and managing talent across their various Discovery Channel programs. This shared production background means that issues affecting one Raw TV show can potentially impact the reputation and operations of their other productions, creating interconnected challenges for the company's relationship with Discovery Channel. Fact 15. Hilarious name coincidence. Sometimes reality TV produces coincidences so unlikely that they seem scripted, and Homestead Rescue delivered exactly that kind of moment when participant Wren discovered that her mother's maiden name was actually Rainey, the same surname as the family who had come to help her and her partner Eni with their homesteading challenges. This remarkable name coincidence created an instant connection and plenty of laughter when it came to light during filming in Ozark County. Ren and Eni had never watched Homestead Rescue before being selected for the show, since they didn't own a television and lived off-grid without access to regular programming. When the casting crew contacted them through Instagram, they initially treated the whole opportunity as something of a joke, never imagining they would actually be chosen to appear on a national television show. The name coincidence became even more amusing because Ren's family had no prior knowledge of Marty Rainey or his television career, making the shared surname a complete surprise rather than something that influenced their interest in the show. When the connection became apparent during filming, it sparked genuine curiosity about whether there might be any actual family relationship between Ren's maternal lineage and Marty's family tree. Ren's uncle Brad, who happened to be the family historian and a fan of the show, took it upon himself to investigate the potential connection after learning about the coincidence. He gathered information about Marty's grandfather's names and began researching genealogical records to determine if there was any legitimate family relationship behind the shared surname. The investigation into possible family connections added an extra layer of personal interest to what was already a meaningful experience for Ren and Eni. While the research into their potential family connection provided entertainment and conversation during filming, the coincidence also created an immediate sense of familiarity and comfort between the participants and their famous helpers, making the entire Homestead Rescue experience feel even more like a family affair.